Okay, we're good, Mayor Jameson.
Thank you. So welcome back. You have before you, I'm going to call the special meeting of council dated July 7th, 2020. Wow, July, crazy, eh? To order, you have before you a copy of the agenda. We will need, in addition, for an excused absence for Councillor Dowie. So I'm going to put that under 4C. And I am looking for a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. Councillor Dufert and Councillor Chambers. Any questions? All in favor? Perfect, thank you. Item number 3, any declarations of interest? None being noted. Moving on to number 4A, letter of support for the Tabor Committee for Persons with Disabilities. So they're looking for support for a funding application for their youth center program. So I need a motion from council. To support, Councillor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Grunewagen. Any questions to the motion? None being noted. All in favor?
Can I read it?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Should I read it? Okay, thank you, Worship. Move the rec that the Council of the Town of Hay River directs administration to draft a letter supporting the Persons with Disabilities application for youth centre initiatives for youth programs. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Anderson. Any questions? All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Item 4B, mill rate discussion. So hopefully everybody's read the paper, but I am going to go to SAO Smith because I believe that the Director of Finance probably wants to give a quick overview, or if he wouldn't mind. SAO Smith.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you require an overview or if you just have any questions, but I can. Do you want a quick overview of the report?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, I'll pass that on to the Director of Finance then. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. The mill rate bylaw before council today meets council's commitment to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on taxpayers while maintaining fiscal responsibility. Part of that commitment was through deferring the levy for 2 months past when taxes would normally be due, to allow additional time for those financially impacted to prepare for paying their taxes. The mill rate will collect an additional 2% property tax revenue and/or grant in lieu of taxes, which council approved as part of the 2020 budget. The Q1 variance report, which has been presented to the Finance Committee, which council hasn't seen at this point in time, but I can say it forecasted staying the course in terms of the previously approved tax increase. I think that the report, I think, goes into a fair bit of detail, but ultimately, this I think this does continue to meet the objectives as stated and mitigate some of the impact on taxpayers based on the calculated mill rates put forth to council. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask for a motion and then any questions after the fact. So motion, Deputy Mayor Boucher, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I move that the Council of Town of Hay River accepts the information item on the mill rate as presented.
Thank you. Looking for a seconder. Councillor Willows. Okay, and now any questions from council? Oh, Councillor Grunewagen, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's really more of just a comment than a question, but yeah, just kind of offering up my opinion on the tax increase. But property taxes have risen sharply over the past 10 years, and We have some infrastructure to show for that. But I believe that there is a disconnect between the rates Haverford residents are paying and the service that's provided by the town. I've said this before, and I'm fully aware that it is largely due to what I've called really an archaic and, in my opinion, abusive system that MACA uses for assessment. But that acknowledgement doesn't change the end result for ratepayers in Hay River. So at a time when so many are strained financially due to the current circumstances, I will not be voting in support of the bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you. I think, Sam, maybe you can clarify, or Director of Finance can clarify, but this mill rate is not changing from the previous year. The only ones that it's going to affect is institutional, is my understanding. Maybe the Director of Finance can clarify.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. Consistent with position that administration, I believe council had supported this a couple of months ago when COVID was beginning to initially impact individuals. At that point, our intention, our plan going forward was that we would not be modifying the mill rate for residential, commercial, and agricultural classes. So the impact is primarily going to be on commissioners' land. 99% of the increase will be impacting commissioner land. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to clarify, Councillor Gunwagon, the reason that council, I'm not sure if you were at that meeting, but the reason that the thinking behind that was that the assessment for most of those had been lower. So to try and keep the same income as we have had in previous years, so as not to lose income, we're not increasing rates to the residents, but we are trying to maintain what we have in revenue in order to keep our programs and services operational. So any other questions from council? Go ahead again, Councillor Gunwagon, go ahead further.
And thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you to the Director of Finance for that explanation. And I certainly do appreciate the efforts that have been made to mitigate, the effects of an increase to residents and commercial landowners. I think, though, that we were still looking at a 2% reduction in early payment incentive, which would still affect residents and commercial landowners as well. But I think, like I said, once again, just expressing my opinion that there's some that believe that we should be raising taxes in small increments on a yearly basis, and from what I've seen, I just don't see how that is sustainable over a long period of time. And but thank you.
Thank you. So this whole bylaw is around mill rate. It has nothing to do with any incentives or any of that. So at this time, this is strictly, the bylaw is in regards to the mill rate. So anything further from council? Comments or questions? None being noted, all in favor? Okay, motion carries. Item 4C, excused absence for Councillor Dowie. I'm looking for a motion. Deputy Mayor Bouchard. Oh, Councillor Chambers, go ahead.
Thank you, Worship. I'll move that the Council of the Town of Hay River excuses Councillor Dowie from the special meeting of council held on July 7th, 2020.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Dufert. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Perfect, thank you. Item number 5 is bylaw 2420, 2020 mill rate bylaw, first and second reading. I am looking for a motion. Is that Deputy Mayor Boucher? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Worship. I'll move first reading of bylaw 2420, the 2020 mill rate bylaw.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Dufert. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Thank you. Motion carries. Second reading, looking for a motion. Deputy Mayor Boucher, go ahead.
I'll move the second reading of bylaw 2420, the 2020 mill rate bylaw.
For second reading, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Dufert. Any questions to the motion? None being noted, all in favor? Thank you, motion carries. Okay, and item number 6. Where is Councillor Willows? There you are.
My great contribution for the evening, move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Councillor Willows. And everybody, thank you for your time,
you.
and we will see you next week.
Bye.